Hello, everybody. Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Garfield Waller here. Welcome to another episode of Rock the Mic. Well, as you can see from the screen, you can read the title. Which party is better able to lead, the JLP or the PNP? With these elections coming up, hey, very important question. One of my friends said, look, people in the US, when they talk about Jamaican politics or hear about Jamaican politics, they're going by hearsay. So I decided, let me come straight to the horse's mouth, straight to ground zero. I hope you'll enjoy tonight, and I hope you will participate. So without waiting, let's roll the intro. We'll be back in a minute. Okay, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Now, guys, first I like to do a sound check. I'd like to do a sound check. If you're hearing me okay, if you're hearing me loud and clear, could you just go ahead, put something in the chat for me, please? Let me know how this sound is coming across. I'm always keen on the audio. If people cannot hear well, they tend to want to leave. So let's hear what's going on. Can you tell me what the sound quality is like? Just put it in the chat for me, please. So, ladies and gentlemen, politics. Let me admit, I'm a neophyte when it comes to politics. Politics was never my forte. Never, never, never. Yes, as a Jamaican, yes, voted, but I was never crazy about it like some people were. And I'm hoping tonight that you people at Ground Zero, you people in Jamaica will give me an insight into what's going on. So I need somebody, if you're on there, could you just go ahead, pop something in the chat for me, please? And let's make sure this thing is working right. Let's make sure this thing is working right. So let's see what's happening with that chat. And if somebody is brave enough, just come on and let me know, where you're listening from, what the audio is like. Okay, please, I need that. So let me pop something in first and see if this chat is going well. Okay, I have something popping up there. Fine, good. I need to hear from somebody out there in internet land. But tonight, apart from just putting your comments in, I'm hoping we can get somebody to call in. I have a WhatsApp line, 347-225-4654. You'll only get through on WhatsApp. We want to discuss several facets of this whole election thing. First, let's look at the guys who are gonna be in this thing. Let's look at the gentlemen who will be in this, okay? And let's see if we can hear something.
Looking out on the morning rain, I used to be uninspired. And when I knew I had to face another day, Lord, it made us feel so tired. Before the day we met you, life was so unkind, but you're the key to the PNP's peace of mind. 'Cause you make me feel, you make me feel, you make us feel like natural winners, winners. Victory for the Jamaica, victory for the People's National Party, victory for Mark, Justice and Goldie. Next, Prime Minister.
through every stage of its transition to a modern nation state, we were the ones guiding the country forward.
Okay, so that was leader of the PNP, Mark Golding. Now, let's hear what Andrew Holness, Prime Minister, has to say about that. Let's look at his conference.
As a small country with an open economy and an open society, Jamaica supports the cooperative system of nations, and we will do our part to make the world a better place. Whether it is support for disaster recovery of our neighbors, as we did in Dominica and the Bahamas, or in supporting peace building in Haiti, Jamaica is doing its part. Jamaica is consistent in its support for the universal respect and adherence.
Okay, guys, so we heard both party leaders. First, Mr. Mark Golding, and then the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness. Now, guys, like I said, I would like you to log on. I'd like you to come in the chat and tell me, why is it that your party, should form the next government? Should we give the JLP a third term? Do they deserve a third term? Or, like the PNP says, time come. It's full time, we'll make a change. I want to hear what you guys think. I am very curious about that. So why not put something in the chat and let's get this thing rolling. I know there are a lot of you out there who are, I don't want to call you armchair politicians, but a lot of you have very strong opinions. A lot of you are what you call diated PNP or diated Labour, right? Let me hear what you say. I'd love to hear your point of view on this. I'd love to know what you think. I think later on in this thing, I'm going to get somebody to call in. I'm going to have somebody calling in and we see, if we can get this thing going. But if you're logging in, guys, and if you're going to comment, could you try and keep your comments as respectable as possible? Right now, somebody who logged in, Pedro, said, yes, sounds good. Good. I'm happy that is so. Okay. Volume is low. Let me try and kick this up a notch. Volume is low. Let's see. I hope this sounds a little better. Let me move closer to the microphone. But I want to hear from you guys. It's all about you tonight. I'm not going to tell you what this thing is all about because I really don't know. I'm a student of this thing. I want to find out. And the best you to find out from, it's you guys who are at ground zero. So come on, don't be afraid. Thank you, George. Volume low. I hope that sounded a little better. Let me move a little closer to the microphone. But guys, I'm dying to hear from you guys. What do you think? I want to cover areas like, when we talk about the parties, now in politics worldwide, it's all about the cult of the leader. That leader plays a very important part. In fact, sometimes I say the leader is more important than the party's policies. I want you to tell me about the personality of your leader. What is he like? Does he engender the loyalty and that vibrant nature that the party needs? Who is more popular amongst your party supporters? Is it Golding or is it Holness? Who, as we say, who carry the swing? And the areas in which I want us to look at, guys, I'd like you to rate your party. I'd like you to rate your party out of 10 on areas like, say, crime. How is the JP handling crime? Do you think the PNP could do a better job? Oh, we have somebody coming in here. Is it Pedro? I think the JLP's time is up. Einstein said the definition of insanity is trying things over and over again and get the same result, right? That's funny. All right, Pedro. Anybody else? Pedro, how do you think the JLP has handled certain things? Is there anything they have done well? Is there anything that they need to improve? Is there anything that they have completely screwed up? These are some of the things I want to hear from you guys. On the area of crime, education, agriculture, infrastructure, I'm talking about lights, roads, water, tourism, debt reduction, and another sticking point which we haven't got much time to talk about, and I don't see a lot of it, is the formation of this 15th parish, Portmore. What do you guys think about this? Was this the right time for it? Or was it done with undue haste? Was this necessary, or was it a case of maybe, as some people say, gerrymandering? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Carol Allen, when you say terrible, what do you mean? Who is terrible? Is it the JLP or the People's National Party? I want you to be specific. I want you to be specific. Who is terrible? Let me know, because we want to get to the bottom of this thing. In fact, this is something I'd like to do every Saturday from now on till the elections, just to gauge where the people are at as a barometer or a thermometer of, the interest and the vibe. See where you're at. Okay. Crime management from the JLP has been a failure. Okay. But I saw something the other day in the paper where they said murders were down. Is that true or not? Is that true? Is that so? Guys, when you're commenting so far, you have been respectful. Please, let's try and keep it that way. Let's keep everything clean, above board, okay? I know we can do that. So Pedro says crime management has been a failure. Do you think the PNP could do better? David Palmer. Hi, David. How are we doing, man? Too much corruption in the JLP party. Is there any PNP person out there, any JLP person out there who would refute that? Is there anybody who would refute that there is corruption in the party? Because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of finger pointing. PNP did that, JLP did that. So this is what I want to know. But crime, education, agriculture, three of the big things. What about education? What's the PNP doing? In fact, let's go back to crime. On the PNP's performance, if you were to grade them out of 10, 0 being crap, 10 being excellent, what would you rate them? What would you rate the JLP's performance when it comes to keeping down crime? On a scale of 0 to 10, what do you say? What do you say? How did the JLP do? Because I want us to trash it out, because when you're not in the position of leadership, people, it's easy to criticize. They should do this, they should do that. Until you're in it, then your ideas may change. Oh, Palmer says, I'm a JLP, not a PNP, but right is right. And you think too much corruption is there. All right. I'm hoping somebody else will come on and say opposite. Okay. But corruption, oh my God. Is there any political party worldwide where you don't have corruption? And Carol Allen says she gives the JLP a 0. Pedro gives them a total 10. Oh my God, you guys mark really hard, man. You guys mark really hard. Now, if the PNP were to win the election and get in power, what do you think they can do to combat crime? What do you think the People's National Party could do to combat crime? Any ideas? Any ideas? I think I have a buddy who may call in later. I'm hoping he is at home, but I really want to talk to him about what's going on. He's a staunch comrade, one of them big comrades. Very intelligent young man. I'd love to hear his ideas. So let me see if I can get him to really come in at the moment. But guys, I need you all to participate. And Mr. Elliott again, rate JLP 7 out of 10. Criminals are now on the back foot with sustained action of the security forces. So, Mr. Elliott, do you think all these state of emergencies and curfews, do you think they're working? Do we need more of that or what? Let me hear what you say. Do you think we need more? Do you think we need more? Do you think we need more of these state of emergencies? Because he gives the JLP a 7 out of 10, and I think he's a PNP gentleman. More community policing is needed. More community policing is needed. I saw somewhere on Facebook when somebody was asking if the police force now has death squads. Has the rate of police shootings gone up or not? I'd love to know. Has the rate of police shootings escalated? And Marjorie Cumry, hey Marjorie, how are you? Welcome, welcome, man. I'm just remembering that the JLP was able to win because of crime. It was very high, so the JLP was voted in so we could leave our windows and doors open. You really would do that, Marjorie? Would you really, really, really leave your windows open? Now, I don't care. Honestly, I don't think we'll ever get back to that stage again, and we could do that. When you could, in fact, growing up for a long while, I didn't know my house my house door had a key. I didn't know. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm gonna have a call here. I hope we can hear this gentleman. Yes, sir. Mr. CD, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hello? Mr. CD, are you there?
I am. I am.
Not
Can
hearing
you
you at
hear
all,
me
sir.
well?
Let's see. Trying to get this gentleman on.
You're not
He
hearing
is
me?
on.
I
He
am
should
hearing
be
you
in.
pretty well.
He should be in. Are you there, sir?
Yes, I am. I am hearing you pretty well.
Not coming through yet?
Not
Nope,
coming through?
not picking up. Not picking up.
Okay.
Let's try him again.
I am hearing you.
Let's see again if he can come in. Yes, those are unwritten crime plans which publicize will only allow criminals to counter. Okay. Okay.
I don't know what's happening
Let
here.
me try this gentleman again.
I am
Let me
hearing
try him
you.
again. I'm not hearing him. Mr. CD, are you there?
Yes, I am. I am hearing you.
Mr. CD, are you there?
I am
Not hearing
hearing
him at
you.
all. I wonder why. I am not hearing the gentleman.
I don't
Gentleman's
know.
call is not coming through.
And I am hearing you pretty
Let
well.
me see if we can rectify this. Let's see if we can rectify this. Hold on. Mr. CD, are you hearing me?
I am hearing you.
No, he's still
Hearing you
not
loud
pumping
and
through
clear.
at all.
This is
Still
strange.
not coming through. Oh
Wow.
my. This sucks here, man, because I really hoped I could have him on. Hold on. Let me check this thing here. Let me check it again. That would be coming in on B. Let's see. CD.
I am hearing. I hear you
Not
loud and
getting him
clear.
at all, man.
This is strange.
I don't
I,
see what's happening here.
I have.
I'll call him back. I'll call him back. I will give him a call back. Yes, you can hear him, but you're hearing him very well. I couldn't hear him at all. I could not hear him at all. Okay, let me go back and try this thing one more time and see. You hear me? All right, hold on. Let's try this again. Okay,
Yes. Can you hear me now?
here
I've
we
been
go.
hearing you.
Hello.
Yes, I am hearing you.
Yes, sir. I'm just not getting your voice in. Just not
Mhm.
getting your voice in at all.
And
I'm
I
trying to
am
figure out
hearing
why.
you.
Why isn't your voice coming through? I know you're talking. I
Yes.
know you're talking. I can see the meters moving,
And I am
but
hearing
I'm
you.
just not getting your voice to push through. Let's see if I can't have you miss out on this, man. I really need you in this. I really need you in this. Oh my gosh. And we work so hard to practice so hard on this and now it's gonna chip out on me. Yes,
Ah,
CD, are you there?
I am here. I am here.
Just not getting your voice in. Oh my God. This is frustrating. This is frustrating here. Oh, yeah, I
Well,
can see where you say you're hearing me. I am just not hearing you. Speak again,
mhm.
CD. Let me see if I can hear you.
Yes, I am hearing
Nothing?
you loud and clear.
I think my headphones are out. Hold on. Let me try this again. Let me try this one more time. My headphones. Okay.
I am hearing you. I hear you.
Okay, now it's coming through. It was my
Oh,
earbuds. Okay. Yes, sir. Good night. How are you?
I am all right.
Okay, good. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a gentleman here. Call him CD. Very staunch comrade. Very staunch comrade. So,
Yes.
CD, we have known each other for over 40 years, and I know you are well versed on this whole political thing. So, listen here. When
Hmm.
it comes to the leaders of both parties, when it comes to the leaders, and I know you're very partial to the PNP, which leader do you say is more popular amongst his supporters?
Which is more popular among his supporters? That's what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah. Which one I care to swing?
That's a tricky question, whether popular among the supporters or popular among the populace.
All
So
right.
which
Popular among the populace then. Okay, go ahead.
okay, I think there has been a shift. For a long time, the leader of the JLP, Andrew, was one of the most popular persons in the country. Mhm. He first it was age, it was like he was catching on to the youths and know what to use and attract them, clerks and all that kind of thing. So anything he said, it was it was popular. It just becomes popular because of him.
Okay.
So they even gave him the name Bro God.
All right. Okay.
But
So,
as time goes by, certain things started to show where he's concerned. You know,
such as?
S- such as corruption more than allegations. The Integrity Commission, which was set up by him,
Okay.
has not approved his declaration. You're supposed to make a statutory declaration every year,
Every year, yep.
and for 3 years, his has not been accepted, not been approved,
Not been approved.
because
Okay.
right, because what has been happening, they he gives some things and some information, they say, that cannot be you can't back them up. Him cannot really
Can be,
justify them.
can be verified. Okay.
Right. They saw reasons for him to be prosecuted. But there's a director of prosecutions among them who always finds a way to worm her way around it and
Okay.
say no. I'll give you one example for argument's sake. He has 28 bank accounts. That's what they
Okay.
find. That's what they find. Now there are two that he did not declare. Those were bank accounts. Now he claimed that they were taken out by his parents and his name went in just because of that. Right?
Okay.
So he forgot about them. But the evidence they have show that millions have been going through those accounts
Does the count?
by
Okay.
him regularly.
All right.
For
All right.
Mhm.
Hold on, CD. Hold on. We're coming back to this. There was a poll recently that says, hey, the big lead the PNP had is being eroded. Any truth to that matter?
Um, being eroded is what should you call it? An overstatement. It's not quite true.
Was
But let me tell you the
okay.
facts, right?
Mm-hmm.
They had a 9% lead
Lead.
in December. That has cut by 4, so they now have a 5% lead.
Okay.
No, the drop, the change, that 4% did not go to the JLP. It moved
Oh,
over to the column of undecided.
undecided. All right.
Yeah. There's one major explanation for that. There was a, what should I call it now? There was this man who was supposed to be a candidate in Kingston. They suspected him of doing some underhanded business. So they shifted him and put somebody else. And he came forward and made all sort of accusations of them trying to bribe him and things like those. And along with a certain radio station, they set up certain things to say. The man asked this question, and the GenSec gave him this answer.
Okay.
And they came out with a corruption allegation. So that would possibly account for that
That's
4%
slipping the ball.
drop
Okay. All right.
until the matter is straightened out to the public.
Mm-hmm.
So the matter is being straightened out. I strongly believe that the public is now getting to understand that it was just a red herring, smoke screen. There's nothing to it.
All right. CD,
Uh-huh.
crime. On the
Hmm.
subject of crime,
Yes.
The JLP, if you were to rate them out of 10, 10 being excellent, what number would you give them on the way they have handled crime? They have suppressed crime. Because I saw an article where it said crime was down. This is the lowest number of murders we've ever had. How would you rate them?
I I would not I, if I am generous, if
Hmm.
I am generous, I'm trying hard to find a way to give them two.
Oh my God. Jeez.
No, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Two.
I'm gonna tell you why. They took an administration, they
Hmm.
took over an administration that had brought down crime from their previous administration. So what I'm saying, the
Hmm.
previous 4 years, let's look at time. They had they were there 28 to 2012. During that time, the crime was like all the time over 1,000, but 1,003, 1,004, 1,005.
Hmm.
PNP took over from 2012. And between 2012 to 2016, every year, every year, crime was about 300 less than the previous administration. 300 persons
Okay.
less.
Okay.
So if they were at like sometime 1,500 and so, here
Mm.
PNP took over, it was like 1,100
11.
thereabout.
Okay. Okay.
Every year, at least 300 less. Now,
Okay.
the PNP had some programs, some social programs at work that were working.
Hmm.
And they came in, and as they came in, they stopped all those programs.
Okay. Wait. Ladies and gentlemen, while he's talking, please read what's in the chat. Please read the chat. We have some good comments going through. Okay. Continue, CD.
Yes, they changed the programs, like programs that deal with social intervention.
Okay.
They discontinued all of them and start practicing a situation of states of emergency. The PNP didn't
Mhm.
use one state of emergency to get it down to that level.
Okay.
Had they continued that
Mhm.
same path, no, it would have been way down.
All right.
It's like, all right, let's say, look at Augusto. The program that was being used in Augusto had
Uh-huh.
them celebrating 2 consecutive years of no murder
In August now.
in Augusto. When they were celebrating the last one, it was the new MP that came in now, that because the JLP had taken over. And she was big in the celebration, celebrating no murder. She literally
Okay.
shut out the PNP out of the celebration. And then she cut out the program.
Cut
They
out the
cut out
program.
the program.
All right. CD. I
Uh-huh.
have I have people who are gonna refute what you're saying. I have
Yes,
another gentleman coming on in a little while. He is from the other, the Green Persuasion.
yes.
Being a teacher, listen. As a teacher, I'm very interested in education.
Uh-huh.
How would you say the JLP has handled the whole thing about education from primary level all the way to tertiary? Any criticism there or any
Yes,
accolades
yes.
for them?
No, as a matter of fact, they are they are looking at it. They are tackling it from the wrong area.
Okay, explain.
What they are pushing is to have 2 additional years in high school.
In high
It
school,
is a
okay.
compulsory 7 year program, right? So, mark you, we have always had
Okay.
a 7 year for those who do sixth form, but sixth
Right,
form
the
was
11s.
for a particular set, you know?
Hmm. Right.
Now they are saying like everybody must do 7 years. That's what they are concentrating on. But they have not improved the spaces. So
The, all right, go ahead, go ahead.
you look at the school now, and you have a sixth form, and well, most of them drop out anyway. But a lot of them who are in sixth form, they don't have classrooms yet, because before, sixth form was like a pre-university thing.
Hmm.
You would be given somewhat of a pre-university status. So you could go home early if you don't have any class. You could come in late if you don't have any class. So even when there are not enough classrooms, the
Uh-huh.
fact that you would only mainly be there when you have class, you could get a room or so to fit into.
That's what I mean. Hmm. All right.
Now, when you get everybody, and everybody, most of them don't have any class whole day. Sometimes no time at all for the day, or maybe one class for the day. Yet you
Wow.
have to stay whole day. So you sit out the tree and all around the place because you are now. It's like you are in prison.
Right. Oh, you're captive, captive
Yes,
audience. All right.
as an
What about
adult.
standard? What about standard of teachers? Are we retaining our teachers or what?
No, no,
No.
they are
Hmm.
running because they have not been. The salaries have never been good, but there has not been an improvement that you know, to meet with the times. And to make matters worse, the administrations, took a hefty salary increase that
Increase.
is
Okay.
amount to like 300% overall. Now, you're taking it while you're telling the teachers before you grant that to yourself, you're telling your teachers, say, look, this is what I have to give you. I can't give you anymore. And if you don't take it by this time, you will not end up get like the retroactive on that until maybe
Uh-huh.
another year or two. So it's like you force them in a corner to take it.
To take it, okay?
And having
That's
taken it, they see now where you give yourself big increase. So
the big raise.
you're trying to attract competent people. Now, teachers are not stupid. If that was your reason to attract competent people, you know that you won't get the competent people until after an election.
Okay.
So if you, so if you're giving a 3-year thing to yourself and it is something to attract competent people, then the third year would be the way you get the bigger portion of it.
The big, okay.
But when you give
Wait.
yourself the 100% in the first year,
Uh-huh.
and so you get a big retroactive money. What does that do? Make the incompetent become competent because him get a big increase?
All right, CD. Listen, big topic here now. I know you're very passionate about this one. This whole thing about debt reduction,
Okay.
IMF and things like that.
Yes.
Explain that one from your perspective as a comrade.
All right. This is the
I know you're
only thing
very
that they,
critical.
this is the
Mhm.
only thing that they boast about, and it is it is somewhat true that, and I'll tell you how why somewhat that the debt to GDP ratio has decreased substantially since they came in. But what is the reason for that? Let's look at figures. The Their previous administration left it in 2011 after the 28. All right, in 28 they got it at about 100%, 107, I think.
Mhm.
All right, they brought it up to 150 in the 4 years, 147 to be exact. Right, 147.
Okay.
The PNP brought it back down from 147 to about 110. But in so doing, while they were bringing it down, they were putting in legislation introduced by the present leader. He was Minister of Justice to make
Okay.
sure that future administration had to follow the path. You can't be reckless
Okay.
anymore because the law said no,
Mhm.
you can't. The law says you have to do certain things. So all they have done is just do what the law mandated them to do. That's the
Mandated to
law.
do. Okay. Okay.
So
That's what you mean.
naturally, the project it goes down. And you know, for argument's sake, for a debt, you know that when the lower it is the easier it is to get it down. By that I mean the fact that it gets lower, then the interest is less,
Mhm.
so more will go to the principal. So when they got it down from when the PNP got it down from 150 or 147 down to 110 thereabouts, then it's less interest to pay. So more go to the principal.
Not principal.
So,
Okay.
so you follow that trajectory, and now they have gotten it down to 70 something. So
Okay.
in the 4 years, little less than 5 years that the PNP had it, it moved by close to 40% down. And in their 9 years, they have moved it in the very same way to about 40% less also.
All right. All right. Before I let you go, is it?
Uh-huh.
This other topic, the Portmore thing, 15th
Mhm.
parish. Was it actually needed or was that case of gerrymandering?
The latter, gerrymandering.
Why do you say so?
And let's face it, if you say you want to make it into a parish, right? There are 3 constituencies there in Portmore. All you simply do is say the parish will take up all 3 constituencies totally, and that's it. If it's
Okay.
just a matter to make it a parish.
Hmm.
But their new parish will change boundaries, which the Electoral Commission ECJ wrote them and told them that look, you're going against the constitution because you're changing boundaries. They ignore
Okay.
the letter and still bring it through Parliament. And Warmington is quoted as saying, I heard him on at some JLP rally. He was telling the people that when we do this, we will have, we will take away, we will remove
Hmm.
some of the strong JLP people from certain constituency and put them somewhere else. So some strong PNP one. So PNP cannot win this one again, and they cannot win this one again.
All right, Mr. Elliott, I see you coming. We're coming. We're coming. Yeah? One last question for this man. One last question for this man.
Uh-huh.
He's not gonna take up the whole program. Trust me. You'll get your turn. CD.
Yes.
Last thing. Last thing.
Hmm.
How do you see the election going? What's your prognosis here?
My prognosis is that the PNP will win.
By how many seats?
I am. I would. I would be surprised if it's less
Hmm.
than 40. But at the same time, I will looking at say
Hmm.
high 30s, 38,
Okay.
30 thereabouts.
All right. Yeah, man. CD, we're gonna have to do this again. I want to do this every Saturday before election starts. All right. So
Okay.
I want to give somebody else from the Green Persuasion a chance to come on and refute some of the things you say. Next time we have a back and forth thing going.
Okay.
My brother,
I wish
thank you
I
very
could have
much, man.
heard that person. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I don't want to fight Brooke, all right.
No,
So,
man.
oh, listen, man. Take care here, man, and
All right. You're
thanks
welcome.
a lot.
Take care. Okay,
Thanks a
thank
lot. Thanks a lot. Okay. That was something from my good friend, Mr. CD. No, I'm encouraging Mr. GE. Give me a call, Mr. GE. Give me a call, or you know what? Let me call you. What do you say? Okay, Mr. GE, you're up, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. How's life, man?
Yeah, boy, could be worse, could be worse.
Could be worse. Could be worse.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm
Well, sir.
under JLP government, so it could be worse.
Yes, you heard what the gentleman CD had to say, and I know you're chomping at the bit, ready to, tear
Yeah,
all
he
his
had
things apart.
he had
Go ahead.
he had quite a talk, man, quite a talk.
Yeah,
But
man.
what I
Go ahead, my
find
brother.
is what I find he's talking like the typical PNP supporter, right? I'll give
Also,
you an example. I'll give you an example. I hear them referring to discrepancies within the JLP, what they call corruption, right? And they all use that word so generally. And there is nobody who can point out what the corruption is to which they are referring. I
to
can
which you're
give you a
referring.
list. I can give you a list of corruption by the PNP.
Okay.
So it's all part and parcel of a PNP's mantra to just throw these things out. They are unable to specify and believe people are going to swallow it. It's not like one time. People don't just swallow what people say.
Solid.
They
Okay.
must come with the facts. And I hear him talking about the debt reduction a while ago. And I said to myself, but
I know
this
that's your I
gentleman
know
does
that's your
this.
baby, right?
That man don't know what he's talking about, right? He's referring to it as being something that has been instituted and the JLP had no choice but to reduce the debt to GDP. can I remind the gentleman that it was Mr. Mark Golding who said that the government is paying down the debt too rapidly,
Okay.
right? And the fact of the matter is the reason that the JLP has been able to pay it down rapidly is because they have not been going over to New York and all over the world to borrow money. And when them come to the airport, them click them heels and fly the letter. Yes, we got another 500 million. We got another 200. The JLP has not been doing that. The JLP has been utilizing the revenue of the country
Of the
to
country. Okay.
reduce the loans and therefore reducing the interest payments. Imagine this man is going to say that the JLP took over the debt to GDP at 107%. It's not true. It was 140%. And that has, and you know, that translates to 75% of every dollar of revenue going to repay loans.
Going to repay the loans. Okay.
That was a back-breaking situation for Jamaica, and it could not be sustained. And that has been adequately corrected by the genius of a man called Dr. Who? IMF him now because I was so good, right?
All right.
It is only because of proper management that it has gone down. Nobody has mandated it. In fact, Mr. Golding said it was being paid down too rapidly because he was afraid of what it would show for the PNP, which never looked too good at all.
Never look
Right?
good.
Now, since I have you on the program, I'm going to show you're going to have other callers coming in, you see? And
No,
I'm
no.
going to
Go ahead,
throw
man.
out something.
I'll give. Go ahead. Go ahead, man.
I'm
Talk,
going
man.
to throw out something for any caller, but particularly people who call who are supporters and sympathizers of the PNP, right? And I have one request of them. I'm going to ask them to name one project, just one,
One
that
project.
was financed from the billions that the PNP borrowed over their 23 years in government. I just want to hear one project that was so financed. Okay?
All right. I have a
And,
gentleman coming on later who is
and
neutral.
not finish it,
Go ahead.
and not finish it in a
Yeah, man. Go.
Garfield,
I know. I know.
right? Because people talking about time come, right? And I don't understand what they mean by time come. How can somebody who has his faculties about him, right, see the direction that this government is going, right? And the first and foremost thing is that the government has not instituted any new taxes for the past 9 years.
9 years. Okay.
And I want anybody now from the PNP to compare for me when the PNP was in power. We had increased taxes 2, sometimes 3 times for the year. In other words, if the PNP was in government over this last 9 years, we would have had 27 tax increases by their standard.
Oh my God.
Okay?
Three
And they are
times a
coming
year.
on
Okay.
now to tell me about the JLP hasn't done anything. Look at a thing like the unemployment. And unemployment just stand by itself like that, you know. The
Right.
unemployment reduction is a direct result of the confidence that the JLP has put in the eyes and the brain of investors. So they can
Employers.
hello, if anybody abroad listening to this, you know, if they come to Jamaica now, they won't know that it's Jamaica, you know. With the amount of cranes that are up and the amount of new apartment and office building and hotels and what have you. You think that just came about like that? You think is Andrew Sweetmouth do it? No, it is the installation of confidence in the economy and
In the economy.
proper management that has resulted in all of these investments taking place, right? And I'm going to run another topic,
Yeah. Go ahead.
the NIR, the Net International Reserve, right? When the JLP took over office in 2016,
Mm-hmm.
it was at 1.8 billion US dollars. You know where it is today?
1.8. Okay. Wow.
1.8. You know where it is today? It's at 5.6 billion US dollars
Wow.
in a period of 9 years, right? And when
Years.
you look
All
at the
right.
overall management of this government, imagine, have you ever heard of a government doing a reverse income tax payment to taxpayers of $20,000 to qualified people?
To qualify. Oh, okay.
And this is in addition to having moved the income tax threshold by one to $1.5 million. And at the time, the PNP was bawling that it was going to bust the budget.
Wow.
What is Mr. Golding's answer to that? The last time I heard from him about that, he wanted it increased to 3 million. So the
Wow.
JLP put it to 1.5. Him say it
Mm-hmm.
can't work because it went bust the budget, but now he's calling for it
I
to be
wanted
at
3.5.
$3 million. Huh? So
So,
you know, see the man is talking through the two sides of his mouth.
so wait,
So
GE, let me ask you. Let me ask
yeah,
something. So, all right, the first guy came on and said this. You said XYZ. Why is it there's such a big discrepancy to what people see, hear, and believe?
you want me to tell you why? And
Mm,
you know where it's gonna come from? It's gonna come from the answers that you receive about my first challenge to the callers, both JLP
mm-hmm.
and PNP,
And PNB.
as
Mm-hmm.
to as to which project was implemented by the PNP from the billions that they borrowed over their 23 years in government, right? And I deliberately place that question because I have looked around and I've thought about it and I can't come up with any. So now the question follows, what was done with all that money?
Yes, it's a long time I've heard you on that thing.
Uh,
Anyway,
uh,
G,
yes,
let's just shift a bit. What
sure.
about crime? What do you say
Crime,
the GLP, this
let,
government
let,
is doing on crime?
let me put it to you this way. That gentleman came on and tried to paint a pretty picture of crime during the PNP administration. And the last time I checked, they were seeking divine intervention because they couldn't manage it. That's what happened the last time I checked.
The last
Okay.
time. Mm-hmm.
And if I might be a little cheeky, even the minister of security at the time was himself robbed. Okay, he
Okay,
was
yeah,
robbed.
yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember this.
Okay,
Yep,
so
yep,
that
that was
they
funny.
don't have anything to say about crime. The fact of the
Crime,
matter
okay.
is, a newspaper clipping just came out a few days ago that had it like in the middle of the newspaper, and it was in fine prints
Yes, I saw that.
about the 15% reduction in crime.
Production, yeah. When that maybe that should
Why?
have been on the front page.
It should have been on the front page, it should have been on the middle, and it should have been on the back page as well. Okay? But given that the newspaper that published it is definitely a sympathizer of the PNP, I wouldn't have expected any better from them. But they can't change the facts. Those are facts.
Those are facts.
And I'm tired of hearing PNP people calling for crime plan. Where is this crime plan? What happened to the crime plan? And I just made a note a while ago that a crime plan that is put in black and white and published will only help criminals, because you have people up where you there, you have people in New York, you have people in London, criminals that have sit down in front of them computer, right, and directing what they must direct. And the first time a crime plan is published, they are going to get a hold of it,
The
and
whole
they
of it.
are going to
Okay.
put in place plans to counteract it. So the call for crime plan is just a waste. It's just a waste. There's nothing. There's no substance to it, and they damn well know that a crime plan cannot. And I am convinced with what is happening now is it is the unwritten crime plan that is now taking effect and putting the criminals on their back foot.
In the back, okay. And
Them running,
somebody was saying the other day, asking if there's a death squad among the police force because a lot of youngsters are being
no,
shot. No.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'll be the first to admit that maybe one or two or three people innocently might have lost their lives as a result probably of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. But I have full confidence, especially in this new commissioner of police. Have you heard the man talk? The man don't
No, no, I've
ramping,
heard
the
him.
man don't talk with water and him mouth. He mean business. Okay? This man means business and he's getting the
He's,
results.
he's getting the
So
results. Okay.
in addition to the SOEs and whatever else the government is putting in place, them can do the SOEs in private because everybody's going past and they have to announce it and what have
Right,
you. The
right, right.
other measures, which I'm not at liberty to suggest, are at work.
All right.
And that
G,
is, yes.
I don't want to cut you, but what do you think about this whole Portmore thing, 15th parish?
I'm
Let me hear
just
your
going to
opinion.
make one short comment about it. It is
Mm-hmm.
unfortunate that the move to make Portmore the 15th parish is being opposed by the PNP, but to oppose it is doing a grave injustice to the people of Portmore. Imagine
Why?
how many hundreds of thousands of people, taxpayers, there. And when they go to when somebody, whether they withdraw it through the PAYE system or they go to the tax department and pay their taxes, the tax money that Portmore people pay is being used to repair roads up in Guys Hill. You think that is fair?
Mm-hmm.
It's not fair. It's not fair. They need to develop their own area and have their own identity. There's no question about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not even going to go into the details. Some people talk about gerrymandering. Well, if it is being gerrymandered, it simply means that elections have consequences, right?
Okay.
If they
Get
didn't
you.
want it
Mm-hmm.
gerrymandering, they should have been in power.
Come
Yeah,
on, man. That's a bit callous. You don't think so?
Carlos, eh? Yeah, but when you think about the things that they do in power, and some
Okay.
very ridiculous things as well, right? Imagine just today, or I think it was yesterday, there was a conflict, and Mr. Prime Minister is giving away one of those social houses in Manchester,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And the member of parliament is there, and the JLP caretaker turn up and him say him don't want him there. No, that housing program, it cuts across all political divides.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems that Mr. Phillips, who is the MP for the area, wants to make it appear as if it is his doing, while this needy person is getting a house, right? So they are always petty. And you know what it reminds me of? They had a national program in Montego Bay a few years ago, right? And the backdrop was the Jamaican flag. Would you
Okay.
believe that they took the green out of the flag?
Oh my God, no.
You're
That could,
laughing. It's true. It's
that
true.
could happen. Oh my
And
God.
any honest comrade will tell you that it's true. Yes, because them no want no green around them,
Oh my God. Oh, the Jamaica.
right? But anyway, a little more on the achievements of the government. Why people talk about time come? Because when I run this little list here, what they're actually saying when they say time come, it's time
Mm,
come to stop all of this progress, right? And while I'm at it, let me give you an example of the difference between the JLP and the PNP.
and the BNB. Mm-hmm.
The Goodyear factory in Morant Bay, right, was operating quite nicely. It was subsequently closed down under the government of the People's National Party.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, since then, the PNP being in government, they have had several consultations, feasibility studies, groundbreaking ceremonies, all of which cost taxpayers money. Would you believe, sir, that the PNP was never even able to get one block or a length of steel
Mm-hmm.
into building out that property? Well, I'm here to tell you, sir, that under this JLP government, the Morant Bay Urban Center is due to be opened in a few weeks.
Wow.
That's a
Okay.
stark difference, right? You want me to give you another difference?
Yeah, man, go ahead.
The JLP just bought 100 new brand spanking buses, and they are building the Montego Bay Perimeter Road
Okay, I saw that.
without borrowing one red cent.
Then, okay.
Okay?
Wow.
The gentleman came a while ago and talked about teachers and what them doing with teachers. Is he forgetting the year upon year when PNP had teachers' salaries frozen? They couldn't get an inch on their salary. Who is he on here to fool? He's not fooling anybody. The facts are there to show, and he cannot dispute that the PNP froze teachers' salaries. And when they can't find the money to pay them, they used to print money and they used to borrow from international financing houses to pay public sector workers. How can you run a government like that? Compare that to what is happening now, where this government is taking care of recurring expenditure and over and above from the revenue that is being earned. Now, how can people in their right minds want to turn back all of these? You know what else they want to turn back? There is a record number of tourists coming into the island now and earning good US dollars.
Yeah, I was
Right?
just gonna ask you about that. Go ahead.
Okay. Record number of affordable housing solutions. Record number. Right? A record number of schools, fire station, police station, clinics, and hospitals either built or refurbished properly. We just had
Okay.
one in Nagati open the week on here, both like 2 and 6. Well, you there were the one in St. Mary. You there were the one in St. Mary, right? In
Yep,
Mora,
yep.
in Port Maria, right?
Former, yep,
Okay.
yes,
Well,
sir.
that is the standard that the JLP has set for this island. And people will come on here and try to turn back all of these things. Right? And when you look
Wow.
about it, I'm still at a loss as to what the PNP put in place over their 23 years from the billions that they borrowed.
That they borrowed. Okay. Boy,
And,
I'm learning a lot from both you gentlemen.
okay, well, let me just, I'm going to give somebody else a chance to,
Yeah.
to call. But when I started, I said the caller was so general in his talking. It's like him use a broad brush and say there is what you call it in the PNP,
Corruption, right?
corruption, right? Him can't specify corruption in the PNP, in the JLP, you know. Him just call it corruption and can't tell us where the corruption exists, right? And him talking about the prime minister and his return. Does he forget that when the prime minister was at a meeting with his peers, fellow Caribbean leaders in the Bahamas, that a member of the Integrity Commission came out and posted a very lying statement that the PNP was under investigation when he damn well knew that the PNP was not. So, in other words, when you destroy somebody's reputation like that, it's very difficult to rebuild it.
To rebuild it.
And
Yep,
that is
true.
the position that the PNP has taken. No, you cannot try this in the public. And this would also go for a member of the PNP, any P at all. You can't try it in public because when you tarnish a man's reputation,
Yeah,
you
that's
can't
it. That's
repair
it.
it, right? So I was saying he's very general in talking about corruption. But let me give him an example. And if he can come with a list similar to this, I can understand what he's saying, right? We're talking, remember the Cuban bulb, right?
Yeah.
Good. You remember the Shell waiver?
No,
You remember
I
the
don't remember
Iran
that one.
sugar deal?
You
You
remember the
remember
Iran
net,
deal?
you remember net serve? And when the
Wow.
money can't find PJ, come out and say, it's because of youthful exuberance, right? You remember Operation Pride, right? You remember
Boy,
Scandal White House?
boy, you have
You
your list
remember the
already,
sale
but
of the
gee.
Rose Hall lands, right?
Wow,
Do
you
you
have.
remember? Do you remember two comrades? You see, somebody will say, "What happened to the FinSac report? Cost 160 million."
Yeah,
But would you believe
mm-hmm.
that two comrades, one got 180 million, and one got 65 million from a PNP government to do what? To bail them out of private investments that went sour. Okay.
Anyway, GE,
Yes. Yes.
listen,
Yeah.
I'm going to have you back on again. In fact, I'm going to have you and the gentleman on together at the same time sparring. You know. because this is very interesting, very informative.
Well, if he's going to spar with me, he needs to start out by telling me what what project was
Trust
implemented
me, he's listening. He's listening.
by
He'll be
the
ready.
PNP from the billions that they borrowed over their 23 years in government.
He'll be
And
ready,
if
man.
he can come on and he can tell me one, then we can have a sensible discussion.
A good
Other than
discussion.
that, he wouldn't be able to have anything to discuss with me,
All right,
right?
all right. Listen, man. I appreciate you coming on. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thanks a lot,
Yeah,
man. We'll talk
I,
later more.
try,
All
I
right.
try to keep
And
I try to keep it respectful, but that
yeah,
gentleman
I
that
know,
came
I
on,
know you're trying
he's a
hard. Yeah.
hardcore, he's a hardcore comrade, and him trying. But the PNP don't have anywhere going. When you compare the actions and results of the PNP to what has happened to this country over the last 9 years, is like cheese to chalk.
The
All
talk.
right? Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you very much. And
I
please,
thank you, Sir Garfield. I thank you,
all
sir.
right, thank you. And please, before you go to bed,
Mm.
just read some of the things that the people put in the comments because not everybody agree with you. So
Yeah, man,
make
I'm
sure you
going
read
back.
them. Uh,
I'm going back to YouTube now to read the comments.
all right,
All
bro.
right.
Take care,
That's
man.
all the best
Thank
on
you.
your program, yeah? Okay,
Okay,
Garfield.
buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, man. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was a staunch JLP gentleman. I thank you for coming on. I have another gentleman who is prepared to come on. This time he's an independent. He is an independent. He tries to go right down the middle. So let's hear him because he also is a very well informed person. So let me see if I can have him on. Let me just ask him if he's ready. Let me just ask him. But ladies and gentlemen, I like what's going on. I see a lot of very good comments. Some from JLP minded people, some from the PNP minded people also. This is interesting. Like I said, I'd love to keep this going for every Saturday until we get to the elections. But my question to a lot of you is, how do you see it going? How many seats do you think the PNP will win? How many seats do you think the JLP will get? I'd love you to put that in the chat. We have what? Is it 63 or something like that? 63 seats. I'd love to hear from you. What do you think each party will get? Just put that in the chat. And I'm asking my friend here if he is ready. Please don't think I'm just gonna ask friends to come on. It's just because it's the first one, and I had to grab people who I knew would show up because I've been trying and trying, and some people promise, oh yeah, I'll come on, and then at the last minute they chicken out. I find a lot of people are like, how would you say it? Keyboard warriors. They'll go on Facebook and they'll make a post and then they'll run and hide. They won't even respond to the people's comments. That's why I want to do it this way where you can have somebody sit down and chat. I don't mind learning because I'm away in the US and I really can't keep track of what's going on. So most of what they both said, most of what both callers said was something, a lot of it was new to me. I'm learning a lot. And I'm sure the same goes for a lot of us in the diaspora. We are not at ground zero. So this is not something that's every day for us. Like one of my friends said, we have to go by hearsay. Things we see on YouTube or what you call it, TikTok. But my other friend, I'm hoping he can call. No, let me give him a ring and see if he's ready. Because this man's an independent. So let's see if I can have him come on. Let's see if I can have him on here. Phone's ringing. Let's see if he'll pick up. But guys, remember, it's a free WhatsApp call, man. If you feel like talking, if you have something to say, come on in. Not answering. Okay, let's give him another chance. Sandra Atkinson is saying what? She thinks JLP is gonna get 53, PNP is gonna get 10. So for her, it's another term, a third term for the JLP. But let me know what you think. Which seats you think may flip, or I'd love to know that. I would love to have an idea of What's going on there in Ground Zero? For those who are logged on, thank you very much. Is there anybody out there who would like to call it? Is there anybody out there who would like to call it? The number is here. It's a WhatsApp call. 347-225. And I think I had that number here incorrect. What's wrong with me? Am I crazy? Why did the number flip? Oh my God, this number actually flipped. How did that happen? How did that happen? That number basically flipped. But no, I'm serious. If you want to call, man, come on. Call in. Call in. Okay, here he comes. Here he comes. Here he comes. Yes, sir. How are you?
Yes, sir, Walla, Wagwan.
Not much, man. Not much. Were you listening?
Yeah, man, they are listening to two sides, you know.
All right. So I tell the people that you are basically an independent. All right.
Yeah, at the
So
moment. But
at the moment, they may change in a couple of months.
no,
All right.
not going
So
change. Just
you're not going to change.
listening to both sides, you get a clear indication who is leading in terms of facts.
In terms of facts, all right?
You understand me? Because one have to look at certain indicators that will show you how a country is progressing.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a balance of payment that has dramatically cut by at least 50%, because it was 140
Mm-hmm.
and it's now 170. That in itself speaks volume for the management of the Jamaican economy. You understand me?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And let's not fool ourselves and become too enthusiastic, because some of us are so politically blinded, that we can't see outside of the, what they would say now, we can't see outside of the tunnel, and we are tunnel
Can't see
vision. You
can't see the
understand?
forest for the trees. Huh?
Right. And the JLP guy was really telling facts based on, if you read about the Jamaican economy, all of what he have said is facts.
Okay.
I hear the PNP guy mention about teachers' salary. That is a sore point, because never in the history as civil servants they ever get the kind of increase that they have gotten.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
My wife is a teacher, and I have full knowledge of the difficulties that she faced over the year with the 1% or the wage free,
Mm-hmm.
because she not the teaching thing now for about 30 odd years.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
She almost cover 33 and a third. You
All right.
understand? Cover the 33 and a third now. But because of the age difference, in terms of them bring it now, you can't retire until you're 65
65. Okay. Mm-hmm.
for you to get your pension. So civil servants, in all essence, have never gotten the kind of pay increase that they have gotten over the years, regardless of the fact that people will look at the disparity in terms of the parliamentarians' increase
Mm-hmm.
in comparison. But on the other side, you have to look at it that the parliamentarians wasn't getting any increase over the
An
years.
increase. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, for a long period of time, they never got any increase. And anybody who understands Jamaican politics, politicians really have to bury dead and do a lot of things outside of the budget where them get to spend.
Just right. Mm-hmm.
Because when you have to service a constituency of say 60,000 people, with at least 30% of that population is poor, it will be considered
Poor.
themselves to
Mm-hmm.
be poor. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? It means that every whims and fancy, the MP have a try to help the man, they help the girl there and help the boy there. So they never really get sufficient for, because they have to take out of them pay.
Right.
You understand me? That me know for a fact. You understand me? So from the perspective of being independent, you have to look at the fact of unemployment. We have never seen an unemployment level at 4%. If you come to Jamaica right now and you're going to most of the establishment, you say, workers needed. You understand me? People, employers
Oh,
want
oh,
employees. You
okay.
understand? Which is a reversal from what it used to be. Say
From what
10
it used to
years
be. All right.
ago. You understand me? So people, some of us, as I said before, we are politically blinded. You have the JLP who tunnel focus to also, You understand me?
Yep.
So, but I am just looking at the facts, balance of payment, right? The international net reserve. These things, one time I remember where we are look forward to 3 months supply for our imports. Now we can cover ourselves for all 5 years. And that in itself is a tremendous achievement. And it couldn't just come about like that. You understand me? We had a hurricane, and when a government manage an economy, that's you have an hurricane, and with hurricane come dislocation, right? Production I go lower, meaning that you go find say your gross domestic product a drop.
Good job. Most
Right,
definitely.
right. So and when you see a government angle its thing in the sense that they never have to borrow to assist or redevelop the infrastructures that were damaged by the hurricane, it speaks value. Most people ignore that point there. You understand me? When you see road a bill and a repair, and it now come to European Union and US aid or none of those things. It's straight tax money. I do all of that.
Okay.
So it tells you that what I am expecting and anticipating from the opposition is to tell me how much better they will angle this economy than the present government.
And what do you think they can do
Well,
if the opposition were to form the next government? What do you think they could do to improve?
I'm trying to fathom it out. And everybody's asking them what you will do better. And them I said them now disclose them plan and all them things. There's 2 times now, them disclose some kind of farmer taxes. Damien, one of them spokesman on education, I talk about a tax. You understand me? The agriculture spokesman also come and talking about a tax. But this government has been running the thing for 9 years and it has not taxed the people. You understand me?
Okay.
So if you run a country for 9 years and you don't put no taxes, as me hear the JLP guys say, and him count it, we used to remember we have supplementary budgets and all of these things, meaning that what was budgeted for can't work. So they have to go charge more taxes here and charge more taxes there. We have not seen or heard anything of that in recent times. And
Okay.
that, and that in itself is a good indicator of good
That
management. You
most definitely.
understand?
Okay.
So it's not that I am blasting the PNP. All I'm saying, come to me with something that is better than what I am seeing now as it relates to the overall management of the economy. You understand
So
me?
my virgin, hold on. So you don't think they have a plan, or they are hiding something, or they're not
Well,
releasing it? What do you think?
all right, let me tell you what me think. They are waiting for the election season. You're not going to give the people enough time to read what is written on the paper. I know, so when them there's a old saying, when you want to hide something from black people, you write it.
Write it down. Put
You
it
write
above.
it down. Tell them to go read a book to know about it. Them not go read. You understand me? So these are things that they should be expressing because we are not too far away from a general election. An election have to be called before September or right in September.
So what do you think about the recent polls?
Well, the recent polls, both polls does indicate that the leader of the Jamaica Labour Party is leading the opposition leader with double figures. Party to party, it is saying more people are saying the PNP, but then there's a critical figure that came out when they asked the question, who you think best will manage this economy and create jobs? And there was an overwhelming majority saying the JLP. You understand me? And then another poll said the PNP would love the poor more.
Does better for the poor. Okay.
It does better for the poor. But you see, this is where the great controversy in the minds of the people. If you are getting employment is being created, that wipe out poverty, you know, brother.
That's what you're saying.
So it would have put any man who want a job or get a job in a better position that he may eventually move himself out of poverty. You understand me? So
Sense.
the polls to them is like some might as they matter about gerrymandering and all of these things. But what I think the JLP has in its favor right now is the middle class people, the intelligence of the country. They are going to be the ones who come vote for the Jamaica Labour Party because they can assess and evaluate what is being done, right? And that is what is going to bring the JLP over the edge. And right now, all the polls are saying the young voters are in favor of the JLP.
But let me ask you, over the last couple of elections, we've had very low turnout. What do you think is going to be this time? Do you think the turnout will be low, or people are going to really come out this time and vote?
People going to come out, That is how I anticipate it. Because put it this way, this election mean a lot to both sides.
To both sides.
Because the JLP is going for a third term. If the PNP lose this election, it's going to be a very shambled organization. It has banked on some stupidity and created some unnecessary internal problems. You understand me? Because they don't support the leader and the leader clan. They are not considered a PNP or a member here. The PNP that I know is one where people could voice their opinion at various meetings and all of that, and they wouldn't be isolated because they have expressed their disgruntledness with how the organization is being run. That is not the situation now. And one of the most phenomenal things that this opposition leader and his supporters has done is when they bar anyone to challenge him over an extended period of time. They change the constitution of the party so that they will maintain leadership over an extended period of time, and which is ingenious because the same persons challenge the former leader 1 year before a general election. You understand what I'm saying? And basically split the party in two. So there was no way the PNP could have won the last election. And then another disingenuous thing that is happening recently, PJ Patterson is now saying he's coming out of the pavilion and he might come on the field. What that signal? You as a regional person, what that signal?
Why? Wait, I'm wondering why go back to PJ?
No, but I'm saying, what does that signal for the opposition?
Boy, it look like they're in trouble.
Yeah, it don't look like they're in trouble when you have to go for your leader who was never a popular person. With PNP was popular, brother. Not PJ Patterson, The PNP was a brand that was very popular and accepted by the majority of the Jamaican voters. The PNP has never been a leader-centric organization. And that is where they have gone wrong. They don't build the organization. They must say, all right, we control the brand. The people, the PNP people out there, are going to come out and vote. But if them are read the polls them correctly, their supporters amongst the older persons, not among the young.
No, okay.
So it will show you the difference in terms of the movements, the older people who know of the Michael Manley, you understand me, not PJ,
Okay.
I know of the PNP as a brand that they have always looked to the socio-economic development, not a party based on bagamout and a general secretary who speaks in some ways that I would consider to be disrespectful. Like, you know, Miss Matty down a Coronation Market.
So you're saying if the PNP loses this one, them calling us dark fist several
Yeah,
more
because
terms.
everybody is trying to imagine who will emerge. Because the present leadership have damaged so much person of potential, meaning that them out of the PNP organization.
Wait, hold on, brother. Guys, I'm looking at the chat and seeing people saying all sort of thing that this man talking crap. All right, why don't you put your money where your mouth is and call? We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear from you. Instead
Yeah,
of
but
just saying the man is lying or whatever. Call
listen
in.
this now.
It's a free call.
Yeah, listen this, Gary. If these persons are reading and understanding the semantics that is taking place, what you call crap? The Jamaica, the Andrew Holness, in spite of the massive campaign against him as a corrupt leader, he's still leading Mark Golden. What that says, the people don't see no facts. Them see it as mere rhetoric because them can't find so well him corrupt by giving that contract to Tom, Dick, and Harry. Just like what the JLP person said a while ago. If them can outline a corrupt activity, and I take it a little bit further. The integrity prosecutor said that there's no evidence of this man being corrupt by using government funds.
Mm-hmm.
That is well said, you know. So when a man I say, or a woman I say, me attack crap, them need to look. That's what I'm saying, you know. Some of us become tunnel focused. You understand me? The JLP also have them kind of person there, you know. But the table that turn. So they are now
Oh, yeah.
seeing where their government is coming with a tremendous force. You understand me? Because they can point out things that they are doing, Gary. That's the difference, you know. A man can say, look, me I fix that road up there, so. See, just fix. A
You're
man
right.
can say,
Mm-hmm.
see me give 20, 200 and 300 houses to persons who never had no house. You can point on that, you know. People see that, you know. But a man will come tell you something that him can't point out factually.
Factually. Okay. All right.
Say, boy, it's this or that. No matter tell me about the Michael Manley hero. Because we elect every government that the people elect them to so that them can uplift them socially and economically. That is something that any intelligent person will expect from their government. So you don't expect to vote in a government and you just so sit down in your yard and nothing now go on. Yeah,
True. You're right.
the government have to outline policies we are going to change the lifestyle of people socially and economically. You understand me? And this is how a lot of person will say a person has speak crap. But ask him to come articulate the same point and get into it factually. He can't do it.
True. That's
Because,
what I love. That's why I'm start. That's why I am doing this program where we have the calling. You know, I'd like to, instead of just putting something in the comment, I'd like people to come on and articulate what you're going to say.
yeah, but you see, the thing about it, you know, I once learned, I was working in my earlier days, and
Mm-hmm.
my supervisor once said to me, great minds discuss ideas, and small minds discuss personality.
People. Mm-hmm.
You understand me? So you can't watch a man, we look at it because him feel say, me no feel say, brother, me know me I say.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Any intelligent person listening will agree
Mm-hmm.
to what I am saying. You understand me? So this is the situation, and it's going to be very difficult to unseat Andrew Wellness.
Okay.
Because PJ coming into the ring has created a kind of outline the weakness. Last week, Mark Golden was in Connecticut saying, boy, we can't beat them. Them are hard to beat. Them control this and them control that. The man concede. It's foolishness that.
Wait,
In
let me ask you.
jail, the man
Let me ask you.
concede. You know.
You can't see that. Let me ask you
Yeah.
something. What do you think of Anderson's polls?
Well, a lot of persons right now, based on things that go down, things that Don Anderson has been bought out by the PNP.
Mm-hmm.
Because he put out a poll the other day, and someone come under pressure and him write something else. You understand me? And Jamaica still right now, if a man have money,
Mm-hmm.
even if a man have money, him can basically get where he want, you know. You understand?
Oh boy.
If a man
Listen,
have money, he can basically get where he want. So,
listen. I'm going. More you tune in again next week. I
all
have a
right,
couple other people. I have a couple other people that dialing say they want to come on. Let me give them a chance to refuse to say, all right?
yeah, man, good man.
I thank you. Listen, brother, I thank you for coming on, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, man.
Let me see if anybody is brave enough, you know?
I appreciate the opportunity to express
Yeah, man.
my.
I want to do this every Saturday till this election, man. Every Saturday. All
All
right,
right,
man.
brother.
Cool.
Yeah,
Easy,
man.
brother. Easy. Now, let's see if I can get this other person on. Yeah, I want people coming in and, you know, let's talk about it. This person say they're willing to come on. Let's see. Let me see if I can get where it is. Okay. Okay. Hold on, guys. Have this gentleman coming on.
Yeah,
Hello? Caller, JD. What's up, man?
you know, sir, me there and me I listen to
Relax.
your people, man, you say.
Keep calm. Keep
If we
calm.
hear, and yeah, and if we hear man attack crap, if we call and say a crap.
No,
You
we never
you
say we
know,
call and say a crap.
me no normally do them things as still, but me want to know where him live.
We're in the middle of Jamaica, man. Jamaica.
And me only
Yard,
go
man.
ask him where in a Jamaica him live. Because all right, hear what me I say, hear what me I say. Me not vlog, I'm not in a holy patak.
Yeah, man.
The
All
thing
right.
about
Is it?
it is that it's very hard to quantify things that you carry in inanimate stuff. And you can
Such
always
as?
you can always put a figure to death to GDP and all them stuff they don't.
Right.
But
And crime, you know?
when it comes to how people feel like emotions, they
Feel.
hard to quantify, don't.
Yeah, true. You're right.
All the people on the ground feel in terms. You see, nothing probably not wrong with how it are managed. Them probably have only to ask about who are manage it. And 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 the question what me have to ask is simply this. If you make if you make if you are do all the, you hear me?
Yeah, man. Go ahead, man. We all hear you.
If the present government do all these things and it look so fine. If there was no cloud, but where some of my money are seep off go and how some projects seem to be taking so long to finish, like the hospital
Okay.
in Montego Bay. You can imagine how they would look if we didn't have all these questions. And so Jamaican people might be saying, yes, we're getting good. Which one better? Rare, rare, rare. But there are people that don't asking these questions. And they
Right.
must because they are taxpayers. No,
Right.
I'm going to ask this question. When last him drive between halfway tree and crossroad? That's all what me going to ask him. Me I go ask him to count the patrol. I mean, me talk things where should not be on our major thoroughfares. When last him go country? When
Come on.
last him do send
Someone
ad?
him
When
drive
last
from
him? When
Kingston
last
to
him?
Portmore every
Yeah.
week.
No, ask him when. Say that again.
Huh?
So what you say again?
Me say him go to from Kingston to Portmore every week.
From Kingston to Port Mariah every week. Ask him about the junction.
The joke.
Ask him. Me do it last week. Ask him about the junction. Better yet. Ask him about even in a Port Maria itself.
In a Portmore itself, yeah.
Yeah,
I've heard some
ask
bad
him if
things
he
going
feel
on
good. Ask him if he feel good about how the roads them look. What me I say, things are going better paid on. But where the people them I say is
Everybody
that
feeling
the
different.
thing now balance out. Some things get neglected too much, while emphasis placed by some, and some people say too much. Yeah, it look good. For how the international people them I look upon it out there and say, yeah, we look good pan the books. What the people them I say pan the ground. When I have road for drive pan, we carry a mash up, we are get ticket left, right, and center for front.
Left, right, and center.
No, ask him how we fix this. Me not in the politicking. When it come to Portmore, as your, I think a two callers back say, the one who in a power get the chance for gerrymander. Me agree with him. Other thing tell you. Another thing tell you.
Yeah.
Right, and we're going to agree with him. So, even the labor rights, I said there is gerrymandering. Right? A part of politics. PNP have to find a way to deal with it. The caller that you have before me, he's not balanced. As a matter of fact, them will go always say them balance. You see, how balanced you are sometimes depend on your age. Because it depends on where you did start get influenced politically.
That's what you mean.
Me almost 60. So me see Michael Manley. Me see free issue book. Me see the 80s. Me see the CIA influences. Me see the closure of teachers' colleges. Me see the selling off of stuff. Me see the creation of the conditions that create FINSA. Two callers before that, your brethren as you put it, where they talk about. One question me where I have to ask him, how much money him get out of FINSA, because I know how much comrade get. He know how much comrade get. He know how much. How much the green people them get, how much the comrade get.
God,
but so when we talk about balancedness and all of that, these people where you have, those I first time I listen to a program, I compete because they actually sick me.
We just start again after a month.
They actually sick me. They actually sick me.
You think so?
But look, I am not, me no economist, none of them people. All what me I talk about is what upon the ground and how the brother before this the middle class are the ones that are going to vote because they vote on the facts. There are no middle class in Jamaica, sir. That has been destroyed long time ago. So if him did a follow the thing, he would have did realize that. What we have is rich people and poor people.
But I want you to understand, like you yourself said, everybody has a different perspective. Maybe what you feel, him not feel it. That is why I want as many people to call in as possible. Tonight is the first night. So I had to get people who I know we talk. Next week now, anybody want Tom, Dick, or Harry want call in?
Well,
and people going to have different views.
You see, it's only a pity we couldn't bring Jamaica to a state where we have somebody who say, you over the years have proven to be a good minister, although you're in your green clothes. We want you to go over this stuff. You angle tourism good. You go over this stuff. You see we come Ed Bartlett. You see Tuano. Uno the pan the ballot. And that the people are going to vote for. The people are not going to vote for party. More vote for which one are Uno. Then think.
That's a big wish, boy.
The better person to run it. And the both are going to have no debate, and the both are going to have no sitting on it. What we going to get to it? And then when we pick the and by the way, even better, you can imagine a Jamaica where we employ ministers of government, so when them fool around, we can fire them and let politicians to go run them constituencies. There are a lot of things what we need to start think about as Jamaicans. The problem is the
Yeah,
people
why
in
we can't do
Jamaica.
it?
The people in Jamaica are wondering whether or not they will get a chance for their voice be heard. Will this thing be hijacked? Will people be able to speak? You see,
But
it's not how it look in terms of what is a whole heap of emotions in it. Is a whole heap of cover up in it. It's a whole heap of things are going. And unless you
and
live in it and don't have a political view like me and like your previous scholar was saying neutral, foolishness him attack. Him say him wife almost retired and him wife a one teacher and him wife do 30 odd years. That means him wife should have tell him the struggles what she would have did go through. I go through teachers college. In
that,
at the
yeah, that's what he said. That's
in
what
at
he
the
basically said. Yes,
wait no.
he has seen the struggle.
30 years back. Where would I put you? 30 years back. 33 and a half years back. Call it 34 years back. Where would I put you? Do the math.
Go on to tell. Yeah, go on. Me I listen to you because
It don't do the
I'm a
math
teacher.
in a
I'm
time
a
when
teacher.
time teachers when get beat down. When the whole teaching thing when mash up and we know how we go. So it is only for people that come from a long way. Yeah, politicians increase that way, that more than you. We have to pay them well. The problem
All
is,
right.
the problem is they went into Marcus Garvey's speech and took out the part where say politicians should be paid well. But them never did take out the part where say how they are to be held accountable when they are
All
found
right.
wanting. And are these things about it? Are these things when politicians can seemingly abuse somebody or alleged to have abused somebody, resign and then get kicked out and then a comeback with no, you see, in other jurisdiction, these persons wouldn't be qualified. And why can't we have that, whether orange or green? And
Yeah,
that's the
that's
problem
a
there.
good. That's a
And,
good
the,
question.
that's
Why can't we have it?
the problem there. Why
All right,
can't we have a bet?
but
Why we can't
I'm
have
saying,
people that are cleaner? And what may I say? He may not have committed a crime because pan paper it never did go court and it never did pursue and no charges were pressed. You get me? So
but
the
that's a
problem where your caller they have or your callers having is in other cause one of them asks why corruption there palm paper. It's something called is the difference between what is legal and what is moral. That is what
moral.
the whole thing is about. How
Yeah.
things look,
Hold on,
and we
Gladson.
know that the man them a take and then
Gladson.
yam the money. And we know, but
Gladson.
we can't say yeah, and we not have no proof. Say X, Y, or
Gladson.
Z and eat the money. But we
Gladson,
know,
hold on there.
yeah.
Gladson, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Listen, you're committing the same thing that you're accusing the man of, right? Everybody has a different point of view. And people must be free to say what they want to say. But here's the deal. You're blaming politicians. What about the people themselves? What about the people who allow themselves to be bought out? You cannot excuse the people. Yeah,
No, but we
there's some.
can. But we can. We are
Why?
going to. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. When it comes down to whether or not you are able to send your children to school the next day, when it comes down to basic survival, a few things matter when in comparison to basic survival. So they go say, yo, me get sit in front of one day right now, it tangibly in my hand right now, right? And he now look for probably the other party where would have probably sell at this time because both of them selling go and both of them do what them do. But what we are talking about is that at that particular time, one candidate may have been saying, me I'll get this. The other one may not have been giving them something directly, but saying we're going to make the community better by putting in a health center. And you vote for the man where they give the thing right away because that's your immediate need when there.
Okay.
I don't know long-term thing. And why is it like that? Because and when we're going to come back to the chicken and egg situation where we say whether or not the people
Which one?
are
Which one come
the
first?
first set of politician are the first set of politician when make one stupid decision. But the longer start of it is where the people them are now. Not a lot of people are liberated sufficiently. Fi can cast a vote or make a political decision.
All right. So we
And
need more
bias.
education. We need more education then.
You need more political education. I know everybody is a civics and nobody now do it. But what we need is for more Jamaicans get international exposure to
International
how
experience.
other people angle them politics.
All right.
What
And even
what can
and even when you look at other people, even when you look at some other
no
people, some other
yeah
countries,
look no
they're not
yeah look
perfect either.
no yeah look pan Toure donga Mali and donga Burkina Faso and yeah look pan the people in a Niger and all of them people and see what them a do and see how the man them a stand up and say we are take back somehow we are go try now anybody in a all right why me a stickler for all of this you know is that me want to see the first set of politician move to send the other set a jail, you know, in a Jamaica, you know. Because once it start, you know, go stop. The other side, when them come in, then go look for the ranks to send back somebody go to jail. And the other, when two elephant, the only people who can benefit out of that are we Jamaicans, taxpayers.
Okay.
Because a man know say when the other people ma come if you know walk in a way where he name can call for nothing, then you understand me? And I just so with there. With for too long, too much people are take, brother.
Well, them Gladson, if we get to that stage, like you mentioned, Tory in Burkina Faso, it have to be it's going to take a coup or something like that.
No,
It might have to take a coup.
it not go take a coup. It
You
not
don't
go
think
take
so?
a coup. It go take educated people who in the diaspora other places what decide say enough is enough and them go come back and make a stand. And that it go take. It go
Right, I
take,
hear.
it go take, it go take people, it go take people who are it go take one new constitution. That's what we need to start.
That's where we need
And
to go.
me go left because I know other people are me listening
Yes, another.
and
Yeah,
so on.
another.
But me think what we need is a whole new start. Yeah. Why we are go what if we are go pay somebody for replace the GG that is just like the GG and functions just like the GG. What is sense?
What is sense?
What
Anyway,
is sense?
last
Yeah.
son. Next week, go on back
We
again.
can't at least make it work for your money, don't.
That's true.
Make them do
But
some meaningful work for their money, man.
I need you back next week.
Make we not bother with him. Make we not bother with him. And we just go with the prime
All
minister
right.
and we do what we are do. But
Anyway,
these things me I talk about. So yes, sir.
we're gonna talk again. Thanks for coming on, my brother.
Call me
Thanks a
where you
lot,
want, man. Me there.
All right, easy, cool. Take care, man. Yes, my people, that was me, Mr. GD, very vociferous there. The man, the man has his points, even though he may, But I get what I'm saying. I get what I'm saying. Let me see if this other person wants to talk. It's almost way past my bedtime.
Hello, good night.
Yes, sir. Good night. How are you?
I'm good.
You good? What you want to talk about now? Let's hear you.
All right, just this time where them call it silly season.
What kind of season?
Silly season.
Silly season. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, man. A whole heap of foolishness are going out there now. You see, because everybody have a little phone. Everybody can control 1,000, 1,500 people a night time and indoctrinate them.
Mm-hmm.
No. They see somebody put up a post. I try to dig up them former MP, Fenton Ferguson. I send build school up at St. Thomas. I ask him to name the school. Yes, when you find out about the school, when the school I built Fenton Ferguson in Self-Agar School.
Yeah. Are you joking or what, man?
No, serious. So
All
that's
right.
what I tell you, say, are the silly seeds now, and people for them have one little phone, them can indoctrinate 2,000 people and tell them a bag of rubbish.
True. Hmm.
So you have to
That's why.
remember, say,
That's why I'm here trying to trying to learn and understand what's going on at ground zero there.
all
Try
right,
to
me have a
understand
friend.
that. Mm-hmm.
Me have a friend, right? You see, when he go to prison, Michael Manley was the prime minister. Now,
Okay.
when he come from prison, Michael Manley come dead and buried. And the man they left from prison and come back and come get back their life. So you see, when people are talk about politics in them time there, and people still are talk about Michael Manley and Buster Manley, Eddie Sear, them thing are foolishness. You ever hear nobody over America talk about George Bush and Reagan and them man there?
No man, they still talk about Reagan, man.
In our context.
They still talk about Reagan. Every
Then we ever
anything about the
mention them,
Republic.
yes, because of some little foolishness them where them keep up, but they don't mention them like say they are not save the same way. You think
So
past them people there.
wait, let me ask
So
you,
you
which party are you affiliated with?
me?
Hmm.
Tell the truth in the father, me ever vote for me by it, you know?
You never voted? Okay.
Never.
Why? Why not?
Me?
Hmm.
Alright. You see when you look on them setting here, the quality candidate them that I want.
Okay.
That means you have a people in a one area. From them send anything them send or anybody them send to represent them. I just affiliately know me see people really take a stand and I say, well, boy, we don't want John Tom or we don't want Mikey Rona. So I just have lately, before
Hmm.
everybody handpick
Yeah,
by the
I used
leader
I,
there.
as a youngster, I used to wonder why you take a man from parish X and have him come run on a parish Y, and I could never
You
understand that.
can't, you have people running in a place which by themselves never vote. You check that.
That's true. Yeah, okay.
So them type of foolishness. But I don't really have never voted it and them thing. If you ask me my opinion concerning certain thing, maybe me that say me have a leaning towards the green side because the first finance minister in a modern day Jamaica come from my parish, you know, man.
Hmm.
Great Alan, you know, we run as a independent.
Independent.
Yeah, I wrote most of me roping him after him win. Yeah, run as a
I doubt if them
independent.
days will. I doubt if them days will ever come back.
All right.
But let me ask you, how do you see the election going?
All right. I want thing to me see election from them a run and thing. One thing where one side use I always get out the next side, try to demonize them.
Okay. Hmm.
So if you notice, if your son broke one plate in the kitchen and you will cause that, you know.
Is what?
If your son break a dish in the kitchen
Hmm.
and you will cause that, you know.
Oh God.
At, at the level they reach, you know.
At the level it reached. Why
Yeah
do you think?
man.
Why do you think this is so? Is it because of lack of education or what? Why do you think
No
people are
for them
like
I
that?
never see come see, you know.
Okay.
God, where people really have to go and write, you know,
Hmm.
I've never been done before. You see me I deal with?
Right.
So you have people where I try hard to deny
Hmm.
and you a third term because what? Three me have a third term already. In one whole record there. So a whole political ego I go at play right so now in this and I just pure ego.
All right. Make a put him
And
on the
and
spot. Make a put him on the spot. Who you don't want to win?
bro God,
You want them win. Okay.
me no see the plans with the next man have.
Okay.
And a
But
poker we
you're
are
not
playing now.
right. But you're not a laborer, right?
No.
No. Okay. So that's your honest opinion. You like bro God to take it. Okay.
Them in
Yeah,
office,
man.
remember
Fair.
say
Fair enough.
me live through all the prime minister them
All of them.
we run Jamaica away from Bustamante, Shearer
Bust okay.
and Sangstein.
Okay.
Me live through all of them. And what this man I do comparing to the rest of them,
Mm-hmm.
miles ahead of them.
Miles ahead. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
You have certain people if they come back a which part they left from Jamaica 30, 40
Mm-hmm.
years ago them last,
That's true. That is true. That
Just in
is
a
true.
day,
You're
well,
right about that. You're right
that is
about
true
that.
say.
Mm-hmm.
That I think, man.
You're right
But
about that,
too
man.
much too much bad mind about and you come like it's a handful of people that try to deny the will of the people.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, I'm going to ask you, you see, next week, I want you to rope in again, And I'm
No worry
hoping we can
yourself,
get,
man.
and I'm hoping
No
we
worry.
can get many more people to call in,
No,
Because,
me is a man for a long time. From me, I grew up in the 70s, I come up, Grew up and talk radio, I just to really know in a fashion again.
fashion again,
I did replace it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But me
Yeah,
always
man.
like debate and them thing because what?
And to be,
For you
okay.
come with your facts, you must learn.
You must learn, yeah, and that's what I'm here trying to do since I live abroad. I really want to learn. I don't want to hear some business. I want to
But
hear from
people,
people who
people,
are
you,
living it.
you see, people start reasoning from a bias point of view, because what? You see, even if them support a party before the reason start, they not come out openly and tell us say they support that. And when them start reason, you can know so they say support there.
I did some, okay.
They not come out openly and say, all right, it's a labor right.
Is that,
No,
anyway,
because
boy,
what?
it's going to be interesting.
People, most whole for people, are just labor right or PNP based on finance.
You think it's finance or is just a family thing?
You have people where then definitely not vote, then they wouldn't mind election every month because they will collect
They,
from both sides.
they can hold on money. That's what I mean.
You see me I deal with?
I see what you mean.
Because this thing is not something where the people are educated towards or about.
Mm-hmm.
It's something where just trust upon them. And from me I grow by granny always tell me, say, you see when you come on to Jamaica, you
Mm-hmm.
see people were bright, and they give most problem,
Okay.
the bright
All right,
people,
man.
because what? You see brightness where them say them have, they not use it to uplift you, or
Then I
help
use
uplift you.
it's a selfish thing.
It for the brightness where them have our education is a next form of slavery to keep you down.
Just the anyway, Donovan here, me I go to
Yeah,
bed
man.
now. Me past the
Me
bedtime.
me
But listen,
me
man,
shout
I'm
you back
glad you.
next week again, man.
Yeah, man, me go do. Yeah, me try to do this every Saturday, leading up to
All
the
right,
election, and
brother.
maybe after, And I'd love.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for coming on, and I'd love to have you again next week. And anybody else who anybody else who wanna come in, tell your friends about it so them can also join in, and we
From
can
from
have.
from 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 from, from the discussion interested, man.
Yeah, man.
You will have more people, man.
Yeah, man. I want as many as to come on as possible, so we can, have some intelligent discussion without the cussing and the name calling, which some people want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Anyway, my brother, enjoy the rest of the
Take care,
weekend,
man. Me see ya,
and thank you.
me
Thanks a
hear
lot,
from
man.
you again, man.
Easy, cool. Take care. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I've come to the end of the broadcast, and I'm thankful you all logged in tonight. We want to do this again next week, and I'm hoping a lot more people will come on. If you guys come on, we can have a time limit per caller. We can have, say, hey, each caller gets 3 minutes. The only reason it went so long because I wasn't sure anybody would log on, so I had 3 people lined up and gave them a long time to talk. But if a lot more comes on, and a lot of you are willing to talk. We can have a time limit, and I can set the time 3 minutes per person, 2 minutes per person, 4 minutes per person, so we can have something going, right? So we can exchange ideas. We're here to learn from each other, not to push something down somebody's throat. If you have your facts lined up, come on, man, I listen to you. Others will listen. Some people may not agree with what you have to say, but that's how we learn. That's how we build a better community. That's how we build a better country. So I didn't have that much time tonight to read a lot of the comments because that's something I like to do. Just read the comments and then we talk about that. But I see somebody saying I drove from St. Mary to Portland and St. Thomas to Kingston. I was so impressed. Oh, I guess the roads are looking up. Last year I came to Jamaica for the first time in a long while and got a chance to drive on the north-south highway. I liked it. But they like it. The body says in other areas there's a lot of work to be done. It's gonna take time. It is gonna take time, but I think we'll get there. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot. Remember, out of many, one people. Out of many, one people. Okay? Yes. I, we don't want the name calling, and I don't know. Some people don't like Valo's asking, why not have people identify themselves? If a person doesn't feel comfortable doing that, I don't want to force him to, because I want to protect everybody. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen,